So, good evening, children, and welcome to another amazing episode of Inspiring Young Minds. And it's indeed very, very exciting because in few weeks' time, we're going to have a great celebration, a grand celebration for each one of you. And I'm super excited, right? We are planning so many things for all of you. And I'll talk to you about it at the end of today's session. Okay. So with no further ado, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay. So I'm sure you're able to see the presentation. We are at Inspiring Young Minds session 21. And today we're going to talk on importance of sleep. Many a times I've heard people tell that, my child does not sleep soon. They keep playing all through the night. If tomorrow is a holiday, then they don't sleep till 12 and 1. And, now for the last 1.5 years, we are all been through the pandemic. So every day is a holiday because almost all of you are going to school only through your laptops, right? And the whole online kind of a schooling has brought a kind of indiscipline in all of us, right? So I thought, it'll be very nice for us to understand the importance of sleep so that we understand, how our body, like how we eat food, like how we breathe in air, how sleep is also very important. So sleep is a very critical parameter for good health. And if you're not getting good sleep, what will happen is your brain, the way it works, will actually come down. And if you are not sleeping properly every day for a very long period of time, then it will start affecting your health also. And many a times we think that, heart attack and diabetes and stroke and all this will come only in adults. But many children also go through that. And it is very important for us to understand that, you can get heart problems, you can get diabetes. All this can happen even in children. So it is our aim to have at least 7 to 8 hours of good night's sleep. Many a times I've heard people say like, okay, I'm sleeping probably 4-5 hours in the night and some 2-3 hours in the morning. Totally, if I add it up, it is coming to around 7. So is that good? They ask me. The answer is no, that's not good, because you need to have solid 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep in the night. So as much as the quality of sleep is important, the quantity of the sleep is also important. Now, when I say the quantity, I mean the time. When I say quality, I mean like when you sleep and then when you get up, in the middle, you're not getting up a number of times, which means you're really having uninterrupted sleep. So sleep is a very essential function. And this, like how you have your cell phones and you recharge it, your body and your mind also needs to recharge. And when you recharge your cell, what happens? The cell works fine. Otherwise, it is very slow, right? So similarly, when your body is recharged, you feel very fresh, you're alert. And when you wake up, you're able to do all the jobs properly. One night you don't sleep, you see the next day, you'll feel very tired, very lethargic, and your body will not be functioning properly. And healthy sleep also helps the body to be healthy, and it moves away all the other diseases. That is also very important. If you don't have enough sleep, the brain, which is the main part of the body, will not function properly. So when we sleep, what are the things we need to take into consideration? I'm sure your mother will come and close all the curtains in the room. And if you have an air conditioner will be switched on. Why? Because they like to lower the room temperature so that you can sleep well. And many people say, oh, I can't sleep, I'm feeling a little, tired or worked up. Then you can just follow a very simple breathing exercise. You can take in air and then you count 7 and then slowly give up the air. So slowly exhale. Now, when you do this for 3 to 4 times, your internal body and your mind will relax and get on a schedule. Now, what does that mean? Every night you think what all you're going to do. So generally when we ask people, they say, oh, I change my clothes because whole day I wear something. So in the night, I change into my night clothes. I have a face wash. I wash my hands and legs. I probably drink a glass of water and then I go to bed. And some people say, I like to read a book, and I take a book to read and I go to sleep. So you need to understand that you have, when the sun has gone to bed, that means it's become dark, you should also go to bed. And when the sun arises in the morning, you should also get up. Many a times, if you visit any hill stations and all, they will say, let's go and see the sunrise. So sunrise, when you look at it, it is beautiful. You should look at the sky and it's very beautiful. So you should be able to experience both daylight and darkness. So it should not be like when I'm, having a holiday, I sleep till 11 and 12 in the afternoon, get up when I want, not have breakfast, skip my lunch and then eat my lunch at 4 o'clock. See, that is not the way we should be. We should have a disciplined life. If you want to take rest in a holiday, you can. You can go to sleep in the afternoon. But never say that, you're going to get up late and then sleep late. Don't challenge your body that way. And always practice some kind of an exercise, children. You need to practice yoga or meditation and practice mindfulness, which means you are being present at the moment. And as far as possible, avoid seeing the clock. Sometimes when you don't get sleep and when you're seeing the clock, you will get even more tensed. So don't do that. And this is especially if you are complaining that you're not able to sleep in the night, you're not getting good quality sleep in the night, then don't sleep in the afternoon. 1 or 2 days, if you stop sleeping in the afternoon or through the day, your night sleep will become better. So if you compare which sleep you should have, definitely it's the night sleep. Okay. Many a times today, you see in a lot of, companies, usually IT companies, people work day and night. Why do you say day and night? Because for us, when we are in India, our timing is different. Then you have American timing, UK timing, Australian timing. They're all working for a lot of other places, right? So when you are trying to beat your sleep and work in the night because it is day for somebody else, what will happen is you will start having all the kind of health challenges. So it is very important to watch what time you're sleeping, because in the long run, all this will not give you good health. And also watch what you eat. Generally, as a child, you all should finish your dinner at least by 8:30. Even for adults, I will encourage to eat as early as say 8 o'clock. After which you should not eat, because your body, it needs at least 2 to 2.5 hours to digest the food. So say by 8 o'clock, if you eat say 9:30, 10, you would have, gone to the restroom, your stomach would have been cleared, and you are drinking water and then going to bed. So it becomes a kind of a rhythm in your body and it's a schedule. So all this, when you do one after the other, after 2 or 3 times, your body will understand, oh, it's bedtime. It's time to sleep. So many a times I have heard people say that, they like to watch TV or they like to use a cell phone before going to bed. So this is a statistics which says that, 95% of the people who are using this kind of any kind of a gadgets before going to sleep, that is not very nice. Okay. And if you look at the parents also, they are reporting that children sleep sometimes, with this kind of a gadgets, and they are not getting good kind of a sleep. So many a times we have heard people say that keep all the gadgets away at least for 1 hour before you go to bed. and you can thank God for your day, and thank God for the beautiful day you have had. You can keep saying, oh, I did this job, thank you God, you know, I met so many people, thank you God. So like that, you can go ahead and you can keep talking, and you will understand that this is how it will work. And why do we say this is bad for your child? So we say it is bad for the child because the artificial blue light which this mobiles or gadgets or anything has, that suppresses the melatonin, and melatonin is very important hormone which helps you to sleep, and that gives you a good kind of a wake up schedule. So this is very important. Next, the more the electronic devices you are using before you go to bed, the harder it is for you to fall asleep. So you might think, oh, I will watch some TV or something on the cell and then I'll fall off to sleep, but that will actually become more harder for you. And the light from the electronic devices keeps your brain alert. And actually your brain should be winding down. So you're giving an opposite signal to your brain. And also sleeping in a in a room which has a lot of noise and a lot of light coming is also not very good. Many a times children feel scared to sleep, and that is why they have something called a bed lamp or a night lamp, which is a little more dimmer or darker in color. This is just to help the child not get scared when they wake up. And this is very important. So at least 30 minutes or 1 hour before you go to sleep, you switch off all the gadgets and remove all the technology from your room and then sleep comfortably. That's the most important thing. Now, the 6 things you should do before going to bed to have a good sleep is, in case you have your parents around, your grandparents around, you can go and tell them good night. And, you can tell them, I'm going to go to sleep. Like that, you can make a kind of a habit in your house. Around, say, 20-25 minutes before, stop watching TV, stop watching cell, anything like that. And we also had a session for taking care of your teeth. So, you have to brush your teeth before going to sleep, and then wash your face, wash your hands. Some people like to, have a bath even before they go to sleep. That's very nice. And when you have a hot bath, it will actually relax your body. So you'll have a very nice, good sleep. And some people like to use the restroom before going to bed because they don't want to get interrupted in the night. That is also a good way. And wear some loose clothes when you go to sleep because it will make you sleep better. So what is the sleep cycle? So you will start feeling drowsy. That will be about, say, 5 to 10 minutes. And then you might have some light sleep. Light sleep, why do we say? That means if some sound or noise comes, you will be alert. You will get up again. So that's how it will be there. And stage 3 would be moderate sleep. That lasts about 20 minutes. That's the time when you're actually going to go to bed. And then in deep sleep, after 30 minutes, you won't know what is going around. And stage 5 is REM, which is the rapid eye movement, wherein you will be into sound sleep. So that is the best way of sleeping. And your sleep, as I told you, is made out of 4 stages. You're awake, and then a light sleep, a deep sleep, and the REM sleep. So what happens in stage 1, you will see it's a transition from being awake to falling asleep. And this is the time when your heart, your brain, your lungs are all beginning to slow down. So when they are slowing down, you should not, listen to some sudden noise or something like that. That is why sometimes you will hear your mother or your father singing to you, where they'll, sing a lullaby and they make you sleep. So that's a kind of soothing thing for your ears and your brain. So you'll fall asleep. Stage 2 is when your breathing, your heart rate becomes a little more slow, and all your body muscles will relax. So how you can do that is, you can actually stretch your body, hands and legs nicely, you can stretch and then relax and then lie down. So when you do that nicely, you will feel your body as you relax, you'll feel nice loosening of your muscles, because see, your legs are walking through the day, your body is working through the day, your brain is working through the day, your eyes are working through the day. So, you know, you want to give all the parts of the body time to rest. And stage 3 is when, you know, your heart rate, your lungs are all now completely relaxed, and the brain waves are also slowing down. So everything is calming down. And then in rapid eye movement stage, what will happen is, or you will see sometimes the eye movement happening, right? Even when you close, and it will be going side to side in a very fast manner, and then you will fall asleep. So this is the beauty of going to sleep. And as I told you, these stages are very important, and you should be able to relax your body and go to sleep. And sleep, as I told you, heals your body. So whenever there is something which you know, is agitating or you're not comfortable with, when you sleep properly and when you get up, you will have a solution for that. And it's very important for us to get plenty of sleep, which means at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And for that, you should have a nice bedtime routine. I told you to switch off all the gadgets, close the curtains, and if possible, for at least 10 minutes, look at the sky, look at the stars. It's so beautiful to look through your window. And then as you close the curtain, you can come and sleep. And say no to sugar or any sugary stuff before you go to bed, like say chocolates or any soft drinks or any such things. And better not to sleep in the afternoon. So when you're very small children, you might need more hours of sleep. But when you become big children, then avoid sleeping in the afternoon, because it will help you sleep early in the night. Okay. So at least by 9:30, you should all go to bed. I'm sure before going to bed, you would love to read some bedtime stories, or you'd like your parents reading it to you. So there are a lot of picture books and chapter books. Picture books means that when you turn the pictures, only photos will be there. That's also a nice way of, you know, understanding. We did a picture book exercise a long time back, right? And then you have these chapter books where you will be able to read, and that is also very good. It will help you, you know, understand a lot of things. Now, why do you need these bedtime stories? If you ask me, it's a nice time to bond with your child. You can have parents reading it, maybe elder siblings reading it. And the love for reading would increase. You would improve your vocabulary, which means you will identify more words and understand the meaning. It will be very calming and soothing for your child when you hug them and, you know, hold them together and make it a beautiful way of interacting with each other. And this sometimes gives lifelong memories, because children would remember, oh, my mother did this for me, my father did this for me. And you can expose your child to a number of books and show why reading is so important. So instead of just telling them, you can show them. And what is bedtime stories, if you ask that? It's a very nice way of going and putting your child to sleep, tucking them in with their, you know, blanket. And this gives a kind of an emotional and a social kind of a bond between the child and the mother or father. And, you know, planting some kisses on the child and hugging your parents and saying, I'm going to bed, good night, have a sweet dream, things like that is a nice way of having a good etiquette, especially. And how do you fall asleep? I think we discussed that, right? So you try to dim all the lights in the room, close the curtain, see that your bed is clean, and, you know, wash your face, wash your hands, brush your teeth, drink a glass of water, use the restroom, and then nicely come and lie down. And what are the 8 important benefits of sleep? I told you it increases your brain function. It reduces the risk of weight gain. It improves your mood. It reduces the risk of heart disease. It improves the exercise performance, and it reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes, and it boosts your immunity, and it reduces any body pain which you would have. So that's very, very, very important. And you must be asking me how much sleep is what I need, correct? So I've just taken it for the children because we are all talking to you, right? So if you're a very small child, say a newborn child to say 2 months child, you need at least around 18 hours of sleep. Now, when you become from 3 months to a year, it becomes 14 hours. Now, 1 to 3 years, you need at least 12 to 14 hours of sleep. So they will have at least 9 or 10 hours sleep in the night, and they will sleep in the afternoon also. When you're around 3 to 5 years, you will need around 11 to 13 hours. And 5 to 12 years, most of you are that age, you will need around 10 to 11 hours of sleep. Very important for you all to sleep well. And this is the National Sleep Foundation, which helps children so that, you know, you have good brain development also. So they recommend at least 7 to 9 hours of night sleep. And this also is recommended by the National Heart, Lung and Blood Institute because, you know, elderly people also require that kind of sleep. And teenagers and children, at least 10 hours of sleep. So now you tell me, if you sleep only by 9:30 in the night, if I say 9:30, then you say 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. So 9:30 to 6:30, you're at least having 9 hours of good sleep. So if you are going to do a lot of exercise in the morning, and then you're going to eat your food on time, and you're going to study well, do a lot of activities as in the morning and through the day, and then when you go to sleep at night, you'll be really tired, and this 9 hours of quality sleep is what you would get. And as I told you, the American Academy of Pediatrics also, they say even for small babies, they say you lie the baby on their back. And when they are very small babies, they can sleep with their parents, but not on the same bed, on a separate bed. And never have, you know, some children, they love to have some toy or, you know, some kind of a blanket or something which they like to hold and hug and sleep. You can do that, but see that you're washing all those dolls and things like that, because it should not come very close to the child's mouth and nose. You know, they might develop some kind of an allergies or things like that. And don't use any kind of a sleeping aid for the child because then they get used to that, and that's not very good. And your body must be stretched. As I told you, stretch your body and then you get up, and again stretch your body and then go to sleep. It's very important to relax your body muscles. And there are many biological processes which happen during sleep. And if you look at that, the sleep, it actually gives you kind of a lot of good information. It reduces all the toxic waste which your brain does not need. And your nerve cells communicate and reorganize. It supports healthy brain functions. That is why you will see many a times, if you don't sleep well, you're not oriented well, right? And the body repairs cells, it restores energy and releases a lot of hormones and proteins, which is very important for your good health. Especially for children who are above 8 and 9 years of age. If you are not going to sleep at least 8 or 9 hours, you will start getting hormonal imbalance when you become a teenager. So today we see a lot of hormonal imbalance in children, especially girls, and it is very important. And this also leads to obesity. That is, you know, you put on weight also. So it's not very nice. So I think, you know, sleep is such an important topic that all of us need to understand. And many a times you will see certain, you know, children sleeping. So when you sleep, what happens is, Imagine you are, closing your mouth. Just hold your hands on your cheeks and you close your mouth. So you will see that, then just relax, close your mouth. So just when you relax, you will see that the tongue is actually touching the upper palate. Now, when you're opening your mouth and sleeping like a mouth breathing, what happens is your upper jaw, it becomes narrow and you will start having a kind of a crooked nose and you will have a lot of throat problems like tonsillitis and all that. It's very important that you close your lips and sleep and not open your lips and sleep. And what happens if you don't sleep enough? So many a times when you don't sleep enough, you'll be very irritated in the morning when you get up. Your brain will not be working properly. Your memory loss will happen. You will not be able to judge between right and wrong. You will be yawning beyond thing. You will feel like, I just feel like yawning. I want to sleep. And you will start having hallucinations. Now, what is hallucination? You will feel like somebody is talking to you and things like that. It will affect your immunity also. Today, we are talking a lot about health and immunity because of the pandemic. So sleep is very important if you want to have good immunity. You will also have risk of diseases. I spoke to you about that. And you will have body ache and you will not be very comfortable with yourself. And all this together will give you rise to, growth hormones which are going to work against you, and even obesity, which I told you before. So it's always important that, you take good night's sleep, and that is going to give you the best results. So whenever you sleep well, and when you get up in the morning, you'll say, hey, it's a beautiful morning. I wake up and, it's an amazing way to get up. You will smile and you'll feel very positive. And you'll, when you do it on a regular basis, it will become the way of life for you. And what are the 7 tips when you sleep properly and you wake up early? So when you wake up early, you're able to see the sun, which means you have a long day ahead. You're able to get good job done and you have good quality sleep, and you are, in schedule. There is nothing like, oh, I have to go fast for this. It's never like that, especially in school days. I'm sure you will agree, right? When you don't sleep early in the night, you will want to get up, or you will say, Amma, 5 minutes. No, you will snooze the button. And when you do that, then you have to have bath fast. You won't eat your breakfast. You will have not packed your bag to school, and you might miss the bus, or the bus conductor will say like, why are you late every day? So when you actually sleep well, when you get up, it becomes very comfortable, and it helps you have a great day. And you can visualize what you want in the morning. You can optimize your alarms, and you can smile a lot. You can go straight into the restroom and, have a brush, and then, wash your face, probably have a bath also, and drink a glass of water, and start your day with a lot of positivity, right? So what are the benefits when you early rise? There's no need to rush in the morning. You will enjoy greater productivity, and you'll get very good grades in your class also. And it gives you time to think and relax. See, if you go to class, say 5 minutes early, it gives you time to revise what was taken last class, right? And you get a lot of sunlight, and sunlight is vitamin D, which will keep your brain, your bones, and everything active very well. And it is also related to happiness. And you would, when you witness the sunrise and the sunset every day, I told you to look at the stars and the moon in the night, and I asked you to look at the sun in the morning, you'll feel very nice, because Mother Nature is waiting to hold you, right? And you become very creative, and early morning classes look fun after that, right? So at Inspiring Young Minds, we try to help you understand the importance of small nuances in life. And you can like, share, and subscribe, comment, and press the bell icon. And I want you to share, what you like about bedtime stories. Okay, I'm going to share the thing, and we'll come to your toy drive, and that's Savita auntie and me for you. And I'm going to stop sharing so that I can look at all of you. Excellent. So I hope today's session was exciting for all of you, right? And before I complete the session, I just want to remind you that we have one more week for you to start sending your entries for the celebrations. Today, we have only just 2 more weeks. Can you beat it? You just have 2 more weeks, and we're going to have a great gala celebrations with all of you. And I'm waiting, and you're all going to get a lot of surprises on the 20th of November. So we have only 2 weeks before that, and I am super excited. So I want all of you to really, enjoy and work on it. So tell me, who wants to share about their bedtime stories, and who wants to put their hands up? Okay, Arohi, I'm going to bring you. Okay. Yes, Arohi, tell me. Unmute yourself, baby. Yes, Arohi.
Ma'am, always in the night I always sing this song Euroma, because I always love it and it makes me always to sleep.
Wow.
And sometimes I tell my parents to give me a bedtime story, so they give me.
Lovely,
without
lovely.
a book.
Lovely. Oh, they tell you a story, is it?
So they made it up without even a book.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So lovely, great. That's very nice, Arohi. Anybody else who wants to share? Thank you, dear.
Ma'am, my mom and dad in the night will tell bedtime stories.
Very nice. Move a little back and sit down, Adit. I want to see your face. Ah, now I can see. Yes, now I can see. Yes, tell me.
My mom and dad in the night will tell bedtime stories.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you enjoy it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, lovely, lovely. So, it's always nice to listen to bedtime stories because, it'll be like fairy tale or things like that. Or sometimes they tell from epics like Ramayana or Mahabharata. It's very nice to listen and then go to sleep, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
Ma'am, shall I?
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, in the night, my mother sing a song, ma'am, for a good sleep.
Wonderful, Nivi. Can you switch on your video?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so she sings a song for you, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Lovely, lovely. I also remember my mother singing songs for me. I remember her singing, and in fact, I remember all those songs even now, right? So very important. So lovely, lovely. So that's the most important thing. Like, we want you to have such beautiful memories and have a great, enjoy that sleeping moment and enjoy and sleep well. Very important about that. Okay. So I hope today's session was very useful for all of you. And I want you all to understand that I want you all to go to sleep at least by 9:30. Okay. No later than 10 o'clock. All children, all of you should sleep at the right time and get up by around 6:30. That's good enough. Okay. And once you get up, I want you to be very fresh, be very active, so that, you'll have a great day ahead. Okay. And next week, we're going to have some fun therapy. And then we will see what we can do for the 13th and the 20th of November. Okay. Because Children's Day is approaching, right? We want all of you to have so much of fun. Okay. So take care, cuties.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye.